Hey guys, Superman Steve here, back for another movie review. Now I know, you probably clicked on, you saw the thumbnail, you clicked on the link, and you're watching this thinking, have I missed something? Like, this movie is old, like literally so old. In fact, it's 1996. Like, seriously? I totally get it. I completely understand it. In fact, I actually personally don't even know myself, like, now that I've seen this movie, how I missed it. Like, I really don't. Anyway, before I get into it, before I give you my full thoughts on ERASER, I'm going to obviously play my intro, give you all the stuff that you need to know about this movie, and then I'll give you my personal thoughts on ERASER straight after this introduction. See you soon. ERASER. Proudly brought to you by Superman Steve Movie Reviews. The duration is 1 hour and 55 minutes long. It's rated MA. It's released in 1996. The ERASER cast is as follows: Arnold Schwarzenegger as the ERASER, Vanessa Williams as Lee, James Caan as U.S. Marshal. ERASER synopsis: a witness protection specialist becomes suspicious of his co-worker when dealing with a case involving high-tech weapons. And directed by Chuck Russell. Conspiracy thriller, spy, action, crime thriller. So before I get into my thoughts on this movie, I just want to give you a bit of context about the era that this movie was filmed in. Now, maybe I was just too young at the time and just going through life that this movie went completely under my radar, because I actually didn't even find out about this movie until last night. Like, no word of a lie, I didn't even know this movie was a thing, and I randomly discovered it on HBO Max, and I'm so glad that I did. I am so glad that I did. I was genuinely, wholeheartedly blown away by this movie. If you haven't seen it, I actually kind of understand why you wouldn't if you haven't seen this movie. Again, it came out back in 1996. This movie is a very old movie, like a really old movie. However, in cinema and for its scale of cinematography and just the grandeur of it, this movie really holds up. Like, it really holds up. I was so unbelievably blown away and completely impressed with everything to do with this movie. So for anyone who's been following my channel for any period of time, I haven't spoken about this in a while, and there's a reason for that. Because I kind of don't really want to always, repeat myself. But this movie has it, and I kind of need to talk about it. Character chemistry in a movie, and I know what you're thinking. If you've seen many of my movie reviews, you'll know exactly, like, character chemistry. But there's a reason why. Specifically for ERASER, the character chemistry in this movie, it's kind of vital, because, and without you can have the amazing action with which this movie has amazing action. Guys, wow. Like, I'm not even kidding you. So, I just want to put a character chemistry aside for a second. I just want to talk about the action in this movie. I kid you not in any way, shape, or form. If you haven't seen ERASER, I want to really, really highly encourage you to see it. The biggest reason why I say that, the biggest reason, this movie has, without spoiling anything, I don't want to spoil anything because that's not fair. This movie has a action sequence and it has to do with a weapon, okay? I won't give too much away, but it has to do with a weapon. I personally have never, ever seen a movie use a weapon like this before. And I'm a little bit surprised, now that I've seen the movie, that they have never brought out a play prototype of the weapon that they used. And they don't use one, they actually use multiple of them. And it's so impressive that there's kind of an element of this movie, in a weird way, that they use the weapon in the storyline. And I'm not surprised at all, because the weapon is so impressive. But the thing is, it's so impressive that it's a little bit unusual that they didn't use it as like the selling point of the movie, product placement. But it's so unique that I don't understand why I've literally never heard about this before. Like literally ever. Like, watching this movie was the first time that I ever saw this weapon used and seen ever. But it was so good. It was so, obviously the weapon has a flaw, which I found very, very fascinating. The overall element of the weapon was mind-blowingly impressive. Like, ridiculously impressive. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm not kidding you in any way, shape, or form. It is so well done. Like, it's so well done. And to sort of tie into that, it's so well done that the character chemistry in this movie literally stands the test of the cinematic brilliance that this movie is. Like, it really does, and it really is. When you see a movie like this, it needs, obviously the action's one thing, like, obviously, but in order for it to have, the action needs to have the character chemistry in it for us as an audience to be glued to what it is. And man, seriously, so as you saw in the opening, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays the character of he's not called the ERASER. I think the thing for me that I love the fact about the character is his character stands the storyline through the entire film, like, literally, and it's so good. It's so unbelievably impressive. Now, anyone who knows Vanessa Williams, she has the most vital part to play in this movie, and the thing that I love about her character in this movie, and she plays the character of Lee. Lee's character, the thing that I loved about her so much is, I was going to say something really, really good, and I will say something really good, but I just want to say this, that she's working for the FBI, and those of you who've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't seen the movie, when you see it, you'll get it. She's working for the FBI. This isn't a spoiler. She's working for the FBI. But the first scene of the movie, when you see her character, it's really, really, really unusual, because she is kind of holding herself in a very, very awkward manner. And immediately, me as an audience member, again, never seen this film, never even heard of this film until last night, when I saw her character, I was like, I was a little bit confused because the way her mannerism was initially, like straight out of the gate, straight as soon as you saw her character, straight up, you were like, there's something off. And the reason is because they literally go straight into it, like immediately. When you see it, you'll be. I promise you'll be really impressed. Like you really will. And again, James Caan. Oh my gosh, his character in this movie. I don't know what it is about. Like I've seen him in a lot of movies, and the only movie that I've seen him in where he's a good guy, but then he's a bad guy, and then he's a good guy, he always plays the villain. I actually don't think I've seen many times in his career that he doesn't play the villain. But in this movie, he is obviously the villain again. But, like, for example, Elf. Anyone who's seen the movie Elf, he's the villain, but then he doesn't, and then he kind of, like, he's not, but he is, but he's not, but he is, in the weirdest way, because there's not technically a villain in that movie. But he just knows how to play these villainous roles, and this movie is it's no different at all. In fact, in this movie, he kind of really ramps it up, like really ramps it up. And I tell you, I don't know what it is about his mannerisms. I don't even understand. And it's the biggest compliment to pay to him as an actor, because he's so unbelievably convincing as a villain, and it's so well done, especially in Eraser. Like, it's probably the best I've ever seen him villainous-wise in a movie. And, like, it's a testament to the character chemistry, because he's just so good at it. Like, he's ridiculously good at it in every way, shape, or form. And it really genuinely, wholeheartedly blew me away. Now, I know this is a little bit random, but I actually want to show you a bit of trivia that when I read, obviously anyone who's been following my channel for any period of time, you know, back when I first started my movie reviews, I used to, finish my movie reviews with trivia. And I was really curious about this movie because it's so old, to know about the trivia in this movie. And I just want to read one out to you that I thought was really, really cool. So this is a bit of trivia here that I found was pretty awesome. Chuck Russell looks back fondly on his experience making the film. It's a crowd pleaser, and it's fun. It's still fun to watch. When I read that, I kid you not, in any way, shape, or form, guys, I was like, man, that's cool. Like, that is a really, really, really cool piece of trivia. Like, I genuinely was like, after I read that, I was like, I love that I read that, because, I don't know, it just really gave such a warmth. And again, I watched it on HBO Max last night. Didn't even know that it existed. So glad that I found it. The poster for this poster, after seeing that poster, I was like, man, okay, I'm so curious to check this out. And I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I did, because it is a classic. It is a classic. I'm not kidding you guys when I say, I genuinely, wholeheartedly mean that, guys. I was so thoroughly impressed with this movie. Honestly, it stands a test of time. Like, it's 2025. It's an old movie, but like, watching it now, it was so practical, and as you know, that CGI is so unbelievably advanced that they just don't use the effects like they used to, but now, and it's pretty unfortunate. But like, literally watching this movie back, I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's just they nailed this movie, like, honestly. And It really is a test to Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and how he's developed as an actor, because this, not only was this a very serious role, but it was a serious role. As in, when I say serious role, I mean in terms of the fact that he took it seriously. Like, this wasn't a funny role. This didn't have. It has a little tiny bit of humor in it, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners, but majority of the lines he took seriously, and it was probably one of the best, besides, movies, like The Expendables. He took his character seriously, and obviously, again, he had those little quirky one-liners or whatever. But this movie really does, in this movie really does stand the test. Like, the thing about this movie that I appreciated as well is most movies for that time, for whatever reason, always had a love interest in it. This movie doesn't, and they didn't at all. And I genuinely, wholeheartedly, guys, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I love this movie so much, because it didn't go there. And in the script, it actually said in the script, in the trivia, that it said that it did have, they had to change the ending because it did have it at the end, but they didn't use it. And that was one of the things. Speaking of the ending of this film, guys, that is a cool twist. It's a really, really cool twist. You'll really love the ending. You honestly think, oh wow, what the heck, they got away with it? You'll see. It's really, really well done. How they flip the script at the end. Really, really well executed. In terms of an action film, guys, I kid you not, in any way, shape or form, if you're a fan of action, you're really going to appreciate this film. I mean, you're really going to appreciate this film. It honestly has just the most awesome action sequence in a film that I've seen, like in many, many, many years. And what I mean by that is, for its time, for its generation in action sequences, because it is such an awesome action sequence. Like, it's so well done. Probably the biggest flaw, and I'll wrap this movie review up with this, is the biggest flaw is, when you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about, the alligator sequence. And in the trivia, it actually talks about the alligator sequence, because you're like, wait, that makes no sense. When you see it, you'll get it. It's not that bad, but for CGI, it isn't that bad, actually. Like, it's not. Like, when you see it, you'll be like, oh my gosh. But again, 1996, like, it's pretty good. Like, it is actually pretty good. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger. The reason why he's such an awesome and such a massive, just a phenomenal actor and well-paid actor is because he is what it is. And what he had to use, the stuff that he had to use, acting against back in those days, he used it so well, and he used it to his full advantage. This movie is awesome. If you get an opportunity to check it out, I highly, highly recommend it. Like always, guys, I would appreciate it if you like, subscribe, click that bell for notification on this movie review. I really appreciate that so much, guys. And until my next review, guys, I appreciate you being here so much. Seriously, you guys have been amazing. If you haven't had the opportunity to see ERASER, it is on HBO Max. Go and check it out. I wholeheartedly think that you'll be impressed with this movie like I was. But all film is subjective, guys. You might hate it. You might think, oh, that movie is crap. It really depends on when you're born. Because if you value movies like I do, you'll actually value this movie because of the fact that the era that it's filmed in. It might give you a deeper appreciation for cinema. All film is subjective. You never know until you try it. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for clicking this movie review. You guys have been amazing. I appreciate you being here. Until my next movie review, trailer reaction, whatever I may bring you, this is Superman Steve, loving your time and appreciating you always. Flying out.